30 years ago, the Asian Pacific American Legal Center, now Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Los Angeles, opened its doors with just one staff member.
Well, we started the Legal Center 30 years ago to provide people with access to justice. We also wanted to empower community people so that they could advocate for their own lives and to improve their communities. We also knew historically that Asian Americans did not have a strong defense at very crucial times.
If you were growing up in the 60s and 70s, working in the community was just part of your DNA. We were all part of a group of folks who tried to, who didn't try, but we did. We founded and participated in Asian American student groups, tutorial projects, anti-drug abuse projects. We were all kind of part of that milieu.
From its beginning, Advancing Justice LA has focused on providing free legal services to low-income immigrants, most of whom speak little to no English. After 3 decades, the organization still provides the most comprehensive services in the most languages to the Asian immigrant community.
My first involvement with the Asian Pacific American Legal Center began almost 2 decades ago when Stuart Kuo, Michael Wu, and myself were given a grant to do the first comprehensive voter registration drive in the city of Monterey Park. And as we went door to door, knocking on the doors, we confronted a most shocking phenomena, and that was this: why are you asking us to vote? We're not even U.S. citizens. We don't know how to become U.S. citizens. And so Stuart and I looked at each other and I said, "Stuart, what can be done?" I pitched to him an idea, and the idea is this: to go to each of the various Asian Pacific Islander communities, do some presentations to educate them on the importance of becoming a U.S. citizen, and then doing some mass U.S. citizenship seminars which they could sign up and get all the materials, get legal representation, and have us file their application for them all in one step. And that was the origin of a nationally recognized, nationally tested program which started right here at the Asian Pacific American Legal Center.
Domestic violence is an issue that traditionally has been one where nobody wants to talk about it. There's a lot of shame within a family. And very often women feel that they have no alternative, and there's a tremendous amount of fear of seeking help. And that was particularly true not only in the Latino community, but in the API community, which at the time did not have a lot of services. And the Legal Center helped to fill that void and to provide information, to let women know what their legal rights were in a linguistically and an appropriate way, because it's very important that any services that are provided, particularly when it comes to an issue like domestic violence, that it comes from the standpoint of understanding the culture of the person that you are trying to help. And that certainly was and is, and it has been successfully, the goal of the Legal Center.
Advancing Justice LA has also sought broader change through litigation and advocacy, seeking to empower and raise up voices of immigrant, low-income, and other communities.
In August 1995, the discovery of garment workers from Thailand working behind barbed wire and under armed guard really highlighted the desperation, poverty, and the extent of abuses that immigrant workers in the United States could face. So we at the Legal Center jumped in to provide legal representation to these workers. We filed a lawsuit against the garment companies that they were sewing for, as well as against their captors. We went to Washington, D.C. to fight for their ability to stay in the country, because immediately after they were freed from their detention, they were taken by the federal government and threatened with deportation. And that case was a catalyst for so many changes in the workers' rights movement. There was AB 633, which is the strongest anti-sweatshop legislation in the country, the legal opinions that we were able to win in federal court, and our use of the S-visas to keep the workers in this country paved the way for the Trafficking Victim Protections Act that are now used to protect workers, survivors of domestic violence, and other victims of crime.
I got involved with the Asian Pacific American Legal Center 30 years ago, and I've watched APALC help so many people over these 30 years, including myself. It was APALC that got involved with redistricting for the very first time in 1990, drawing a statewide map, and for the first time in the San Gabriel Valley, we put the 4 cities with the greatest Asian population together. That laid the groundwork for the district that I ended up running for in 2001 for the California State Assembly, and that laid the groundwork for me being in Congress today.
Over the decades, one of the most important values to Advancing Justice, LA, has been the importance of strengthening race relations and working across communities towards a common goal of social change.
Well, Leader is a good example of what investment Stewart made. He knew that there needed to be individuals who understood LA, would do the appropriate environmental scan to assess the demographics, look at its challenges, and assess its possibilities. And Leader has played a big role in cadres of individuals who have gone through that training and become heads of respective organizations, but with a network that helps build the base of the human capital that's needed in order to articulate a vision of a community that respects its diversity.
I think the Legal Center has demonstrated a capacity for what my good friend Stewart Quo calls boundary crossing leadership. That we can't just stay in our ethnic and gender and racial silos if we're going to solve problems of social justice. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. And I think the Legal Center takes this to heart in its work. And so working with the African American community, with the Latino community, with folks from all ethnic, racial, and sexual orientation backgrounds, it demonstrates that bridge building is not only the right thing to do, but in policy advocacy, it's the smart thing to do. It's a smarter, more effective strategy.
Advancing Justice LA recognizes that the movement for social justice requires impactful organizations and a sustainable community infrastructure. For 30 years, Advancing Justice LA has sought to build both.
The experience I had while doing pro bono work with my fellow Korean American attorneys for the victims of the 1992 civil unrest really helped me appreciate the importance of having a sustainable infrastructure to be an effective provider of legal aid. Well, the partnership between the Legal Center and the Korean American Bar Association of Southern California was a critical collaboration that enabled us to serve the victims in a sustainable manner. In my mind, the strong infrastructure of the Legal Center was absolutely necessary then and continues to be an indispensable component in our continuing fight for social justice.
The impact that the Legal Center has had over the many years that it's been in existence is tremendous. It's huge. We've served thousands and thousands of individuals in our community. We've given them a voice. We've given them hope. We've addressed civil rights. We've looked at domestic violence. We've helped people get their citizenship. We have helped those that couldn't help themselves. The list goes on and on and on. It's very hard to even say, what is the impact? I guess it's just tremendous.
Well, I'm inspired every day. I don't think I would have lasted 30 years without that inspiration. Inspiration from people like Lily Chin, all the various people we've worked to empower. It's truly been inspirational to see community people make sure that not only are their rights vindicated, but the rights of others are upheld as well. I'm truly inspired by our staff. They have tremendously inspired me because I see their passion every day. We've had a tremendous board involvement over the many years, and I'm truly thankful for that. But I really like the fact that we've seen business people and legal people and faith-based people and community organizations come together as one. Because in the final analysis, we are one community. And so all of these people from different backgrounds, different workplaces, have come together to say justice is for everyone.